What if I told you there was one single investment out there that guarantees lifelong returns? Seriously, no market risk, no worrying about economic slumps, just pure, nonstop growth. Today, we're going to explore exactly what that is.
Welcome to the Be the Exception educational series. All right, we're on day 3 of our challenge, and today's idea, well, it's not just another tip. This is a fundamental shift in how you think about building real, lasting value in your life.
So, what is this incredible, can't-miss investment? I want you to think about the biggest wins you've ever heard of, getting in on Google early, or Apple, or Berkshire Hathaway. Now, imagine an investment with returns that can't be touched, no matter what the market does. That's what we're talking about today.
And no, it's not the next hot crypto coin, and it's not some revolutionary AI stock. This investment has a ceiling that is, well, it's basically unlimited. And the secret? It's something you already own. That's right, it's you. The single greatest, most profitable investment you can ever make is in your own growth. And I know that might sound like something you've heard before, but there's a fascinating psychological reason why most people get this completely wrong, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
This brings us to something I call the commitment gap. It's this weird paradox that so many of us live in, right? We actively hunt for resources to be successful, but then, when the moment comes to actually invest in ourselves, we hesitate. We pull back.
And you might be thinking, hey, hold on, I'm already doing that. I watch videos like this one, I listen to podcasts, I read the articles, and that's awesome. It's a fantastic start, but to truly be the exception, we have to understand the massive difference between just passively consuming information and actively committing to it. Let's look at the psychology behind this.
Here it is. This is the crucial point, a powerful psychological trigger that changes everything. We value what we pay for. It's just how we're wired. The second you have real skin in the game, your brain's entire approach to learning, it just transforms.
What's so interesting here is the contrast. Look at this. On one side, you've got this passive interest. You're consuming free content. There's pretty low accountability. But on the other side, that's where you have declared commitment. This is when you actually pay for the course, you hire the coach, you put a real financial stake in your own growth. And let me tell you, this is where the magic happens. Let's just break down the psychology of what happens when you pay. First, there's the declaration. Paying for something for yourself is a physical act that sends a signal straight to your brain, and that signal says, I am worth this investment. It's so powerful. And second, there's the compulsion. Once you've spent that money, you are naturally, almost subconsciously, driven to get a return on it. You pay way closer attention, you actually apply the knowledge, and you follow through.
So what does this actually look like in practice? Let me share with you the single best piece of advice I ever got in my entire life. It came from my mentor, Tracy, when I was just 18 years old. And believe me, it has generated a return far, far beyond any stock I could have ever picked.
So, a lot of us have heard about the idea of tithing 10% to a church or a charity. Well, Brian's advice was to apply that exact same principle to yourself. He told me to take another 10 cents from every single dollar I earned and tithe it to my own growth by setting up a dedicated personal development fund.
And here's the crazy part. He promised me that for every single dollar I invested in myself, I would see a $30 return added to my bottom line. And you know what? He lied. He was totally wrong. I've seen way, way more than a 30 times return on the money I've invested in my own mind.
Honestly, this one philosophy is the reason I'm even talking to you today. I didn't have some special God-given talent. I didn't have a fancy degree from an Ivy League school. But by consistently, religiously investing 10 cents of every dollar in my own growth, I built the foundation for everything else. It was the single most important thing I've ever done.
Okay, so let's turn this from a cool idea into a concrete strategy you can use. This isn't about me selling you a product. It's about you adopting a plan. If you are serious about becoming the exception, this is the formula. As you can see, the action plan is dead simple. First, you commit to a percentage. 10% is the goal, but hey, start where you can. Even 3% is a start. Second, and this is crucial, create a separate fund for it. Give it a name. Make it feel real. Third, automate the transfer so you don't even have to think about it. And fourth, the most important step of all, you got to be consistent. Stick with it.
Now, I know the most common thought bubbling up right now is, I can't afford that right now. I get it. But let me ask you to reframe that.
Can you really afford not to? This investment is the very tool that will change your financial situation. The great paradox here is that the people who feel like they can't afford it are the ones who will benefit the most from doing it.
So if you're up for this, I want you to make a public declaration. Right now, go to the comments and write hashtag 10 to me. That's 10 to me. Set up your 10-cent carve-out plan today and start the real process of becoming the exception.
I will see you back here for day 4. And I have to give you a heads up. The next one, it's a scary one. It might involve a little pain, maybe even a few tears at first. But I promise you, conquering it will be absolutely transformational. Next time, we're going to learn to embrace 3 things that we're all taught to fear our entire lives.
The first one is failure. We are going to learn to run full force right into it.
The second one, rejection. We are going to learn how to risk our ego and come out stronger.
And the third is defeat. We're going to take these 3 things and turn them into the fuel for our greatest success.
You know, so many people never even come close to realizing their full potential. And more often than not, it's because they're unwilling to risk the comfortable life they have for the incredible one they're actually capable of living. So I'll leave you with that question. Until next time, are you ready to take that risk?